Hello, good morning, and thank you very much for joining once again to a new publication of results of Latin NCAP. In this opportunity is phase 11 of Latin NCAP, and it's going to be the last publication of this phase and the last publication of the year. Unfortunately, the COVID has been, like everyone else, has been affected, and our procedures and operations have been seriously affected as well. And in the same line, we were expecting to have more results ready by this year, but the delay in delivery of the cars, the delay in the parts as well, pushed some of the results planned for 2020 now to 2021. So we can assure you that early next year you're going to have new publications, new results, and plenty of them for the 2021. Without more, I would like to begin our video to show you the results. So the cars we tested in this opportunity is the Hyundai HB20, 2 airbags as standard and ABS, made in Brazil. And also the Ford Ka, made in Brazil, 2 airbags as standard and ABS. So Hyundai HB20 Brazil and the Ford Ka Brazil as well. The first result is the HB20, the Hyundai. It's 0 stars with a low performance in the adult, child, and the safety assist boxes, also with the pedestrian protection. On average, the side impact, red chest was actually one of the highlights, and also the red neck in the rear impact. The frontal impact of the car was performed in 2019, front and side impact. And back then, that car was a 4 stars. However, Latin NCAP audited this car in 2020 on the side impact. And unfortunately, the result was different from the one tested last year. And that pushed the result of 2019 of this car to be back to 1 star. So we used the frontal and the side impact because the cars are the same. So we're using the front and side impact results from last year in order to develop the result of this year. So basically we expanded the assessment for this car, and it's not going to be the last one clearly. In terms of the side impact, as mentioned, this is what we are watching now is the assessment of the side impact performance in the audit test, which led to the red chest as explained. And in that sense, or in that line, we have a poor performance of this car in the adult occupant box. However, the side protection for the child occupants was at the same level as the car we tested back in 2019 on the side impact, and also frontal impact remained the same level. As I mentioned, this car was, the assessment was expanded. So front and side impact were used from last year. We expanded to whiplash. This is a whiplash testing, so the rear impact. And the whiplash of this car actually led to a red neck, already starting from the geometric limitations on the car and the performance. Now we are watching the pedestrian protection, the pedestrian assessment, from inside the real speed, from outside the head impact. The car is a car which is recently developed, and we were expecting a better occupant protection performance of this vehicle, which unfortunately there were some considerations that were not put on the table or were not brought actually on time for the development of this car. Ford Ka is the second one we tested. It's a 0 star as well, with 34% in the adult box, 9% for the child occupant, pedestrian 50%, and safety is 7%. Highlights is the red neck in the rear impact and also the brown chest on the side impact. This car was tested the first time frontal impact back in 2015. We checked that the car was the same on the frontal performance. That's why we kept the same assessment, same result as we did back then. And this car was tested in 2016 on the side impact with the previous protocol of Latin NCAP. And back then, the performance was really bad. And that's why the manufacturer at that time improved the car pretty quickly in about a year. And the side impact car was improved in the structure. We tested back then in 2017 the improvements. And the car managed at that time to get a 3-star result. In this opportunity, what we did is we audited the side impact. So we made an audit on the side impact car once again, and it was performing exactly in the same way as the car we tested almost 3 years ago. And for that, we used both results, both tests as part of the assessment, and we expanded the assessment to the 2020 protocol. So having done front and side impacts, we moved into the next assessment, next part of the assessment, which goes in the line of expanding the other tests remaining for the 2020 protocol. And on that line, we have performed a test on the rear impact or the whiplash, as we are watching now. In this case, the color-coded neck offer actually had a poor protection, and the performance was really low on the whiplash. Pedestrian protection in this car was assessed in full, and being a car that was also available in Europe, we were expecting a little bit better performance on this vehicle, even if it's produced locally in Latin America. We were expecting a better performance in the pedestrian protection overall. So, summary of results: the Hyundai HB20, it's a 0 stars. It's 19% box for the adults, 10% the child occupant, 43% the pedestrian, and 14% on the box of safety assist. The Ford Ka is a 0-star car, and on their new protocol, 34% for the adult occupant, 9% for the child occupant, 50% for the pedestrian protection, and 7% for the safety assist. Highlights on both cars is the HB20 showed a poor performance in the side impact. That explains the low result in the adult protection. In both cases, neither of the cars had side head protection, and that explains also the poor result in the adult protection box, in the adult occupant protection box, together with the lack of also other systems that are assessed in the adult protection. For example, the AAB assessment, which is not done if you don't reach a minimum score in the passive safety of the car, which is clearly not achieved in this in both cases. The other relevant information from these cars is that Hyundai didn't, in terms of the side impact performance, that was audited, that led to the old result to be downgraded to 1 star, and that result was the one used in the side impact considerations to calculate this new 2020 result of the HB20. Regarding the Ford Ka, however, the manufacturer announced already, as a consequence of the results, that they will improve the vehicle. The improvements are going to come in terms of having certain optional equipment becoming standard for this car pretty soon. And what it was done in the meantime, the manufacturer sponsored a test of the car with the extra safety features, and Latin NCAP tested the car, and we can say from the test that we have done that the performance in terms of biomechanical measurements is better. So the protection offered to the occupants improves with those add-ons, with those extra equipment. And as soon as this extra equipment, these optionals, become standard, then Latin NCAP will republish or basically update the result of the Ford Ka as from the time, or as from the point in time when this car has received the standard equipment of this extra or nowadays optional features. So we praise Ford for that action, and in the same line we encourage Hyundai to improve beyond what we have seen. And in both cases, we both encourage to try to catch up and try to get close to the best-selling model, the replacement of the best-selling model in the region, which is the Chevy Onix, or Chevrolet Onix, which is a car in the old protocol 5 stars for adults, 5 stars for child occupant protection. But in terms of protection itself, it offers full frontal airbag, good protection, side airbags for the body, side airbags for the head as well, and also pedestrian protection in a good level according to regulations, which is not the case in these two cars, and also ESC standard on the new Onix, which is not the case neither in the HB20 or the Ford Ka as well. So having said that, we finish this publication. We thank you very much for joining us, and before we say goodbye, we would like to wish you the best of the best for 2021, and also we would like to have you on board and supporting our work and keep following us on what we have been doing. It's a tremendous success, the different steps of Latin NCAP, especially in the last couple of years, and especially this year where we are actually in our 10th anniversary. So thank you very, very much. Before we say goodbye, I would like to mention 2 extra points, and one of them is to acknowledge and thank very much explicitly and publicly to Torres Zero Foundation, Global NCAP, Bloomberg Philanthropies, FI Foundation, the IADB, and also ICRT for the continuous and uninterrupted support to what we do. Without their funds and without their support, this wouldn't be possible. And last but not least, I also want to give a special acknowledge to the team of Latin NCAP: Carolina Pereira, Jimena Recalde, Julia Garbarino, Rafael Tucci, y Gonzalo Casas. To all of them, our congratulations and eternal thanks to your work and support, and especially your involvement and encouragement and inspirations, and basically the energy you put in Latin NCAP in every step we take, in every new result we publish. So thank you very much. It's time to say goodbye, and we promise to see you early next year with already results, probably January or early February, and those results are basically results postponed from 2020. Thank you very much. Until the next time, bye-bye.